Hey, it's Brian and Barbara with Two Indians.
What did you buy me?
Hey everybody, it's Brian with Two Indians.
Two.
I bet you can guess who's behind the camera over there. Today we are going to do an install of an XKGlow light kit. Now what we're going to talk about will work with just about any light kit, but this particular light kit happens to be the Moto standard kit, which has 8 single LED emitters and 4 large strips. Let's take a quick look and see what's in the box. Warranty and disclaimer. This is the power button and power wire. And here we have the main controller, power wire, which connects here, which connects to the battery. And then we've got zone 1 and zone 2 outputs for the actual LED emitters. And because this is a dual zone system, we're going to light up the bike in 2 separate areas. We're going to have the engine compartment as one zone, and we're going to have the rest of the bike, like the front fenders and rear fenders, as another zone. Now this controller is also very convenient because it has an application that you can install on your iPhone or your Android phone. I don't have an Android, I have an iPhone. So
we are a house divided.
That's right. And then these are the larger emitters. These have 6 emitters per strip. All right, so we've got 4 of these. Those are short extensions, and then we also have longer extensions. 1, 2, 3, 4, we got plenty of those. And then these are the single emitters. Also in the kit, we've got some tie wraps. And these are splitter devices. So we take an output from the controller, it goes into here, and it allows us to go out to different emitters. We've got some adhesive strips. We've got some clips that will allow us to secure the cables in place. And then also in here, we've got some little rubber end caps. You can just slip that over the exposed connections. So when it's hanging under your bike or somewhere, it doesn't get dirt or water into it later. So that's what's in the kit. One thing I hate about how-to videos is when people sit and talk about nothing and blabber on and on and on and on and on without getting to the point. I'm going to get to. And now let's talk about how it's going to be installed on the bike and where we're going to actually put the LED emitters. On the front of the bike, we're going to put one under each side of the brake cover. We're going to put one up underneath the fork here, shining down on top of the fender. Then we're going to put one of these small emitters right here, and then we're going to do the same on the opposite side. And then we're going to put one behind the horn cover back here, which lights up this area nice. And then we're going to put 2 small emitters, one on each side in the back here, which will give some light in the back, which helps with safety. And then we've got the 4 larger ones, one under each bag. And then we're going to have one larger one on this side of the tank and one up under here also facing down. That might change a little bit once we start playing with it. I'll have to talk to Barbara and ask her if she wants to get a few more pieces. I have to do that again. Thanks, honey. All right, that is good. Here, let me try that again. The first thing that we have to do is remove the luggage rack, the seat, and the tank, because we've got to get up under here to install all the electronics. And lucky for you guys, that only takes exactly 1 second. All right, so here is the on and off device. And on my bike, I've got it mounted right up underneath the tank. I think we're going to stick with that application. All I've got to do is connect it to power here, remove the ECU. Well, I'm not going to remove it. I'm just going to take this mounting bracket and loosen it up here. And then this little guy just swings up, and then there's a little, like a quick disconnect latch there. And then we just slip this dude back in place. So on my bike, we have the control unit pushed up under here, and I think I'm going to do about the same. We're going to pull 2 feeds up to the front because this is a 2-zone system, and some of the lighting for the engine compartment, which is going to be zone 1, and some of the lighting for the front fender, which is going to be part of zone 2, need to be fed separately. And all I've done is just lifted it up on one side, and there's a tie wrap holding it closed on this side, and hopefully I can just shove it through there. And it looks like I can. There's one, there's two. So I'm just going to leave enough on this side to make a connection down here to the control unit, and then up on this side I'm just going to run it up through here, snap the case back on, and we'll have just enough hanging out here for our connections. All right. One last thing I'm going to do on this side is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to install the splitters that split the cables so we can have multiple connections coming out of one output. So here's output 1, output 2, and I'm going to make a connection here and a connection here. And we'll just, you want to leave a little bit of slack so you can try to position it so the seat doesn't crush it. So we're going to put an emitter underneath this brake cover to shine down on the wheel. And all we have to do is remove these two nuts right here, and there's a 10mm screw on the other side of this cover here. Open in, box in, get that off. So I'm just going to clean off the bottom of this here because this is where we're going to put the sticky device. So they come with two different sizes of these stickies, and I like to use the larger ones on the emitters. So I'm going to grab one of those weatherproof caps, and I'm going to put it on here first. And I'm going to take one of these double stick 3M pieces, and I'm just going to stick it to the bottom there like so. All right, and believe it or not, that sucker is not going to come off. Hey, you want to know a funny story? Is I met the guy that invented the tie wrap. I kid you not. I used to live down in North Palm Beach, and at one time I was working in a guy's house. I used to be a security system technician, and I always made it a point when I was young to ask very wealthy people, and believe me, this guy lived on the ocean in North Palm Beach, and I always asked people what they do for a living and how they made their money. And this guy told me that he invented the zip tie. I believed it. I had no reason to doubt him, but I thought that was very interesting because that was something that I used almost every day as a technician that did a lot of wiring. Did you know that about me, honey? Did you know I met the guy that... No? She's very quiet today. I don't know what's going on. You want me to clean this for you, honey? Okay. All right, we're going to do the same thing on this side. Put a mounting piece under here. Put the sticky on. Now, you never want to have two next to each other, so clip the old one off. Get it out of the way. All right, now while you're over there, we're going to put the other one right up under here, looking down. On a rubber cap here. So I think I'm going to stick it like right here. So if you see it from this side, it's going to go right up under here. So it's kind of facing down, kind of facing forward a little bit, but once it's on, it'll wash light all over the front of the fender. All right, we're going to take one of the feeds from the battery compartment, and we're just going to plug it in here, and now that's going to split it out 3 ways, which is quite convenient because I have one, and from the other side I have 2. For the one we just installed, I now have 3 lights up front. And look at that, they're actually on. Can you see that? Ooh. Ta-da! For the front pieces on the frame, I'm going to mount these right here, and I'm just going to carry the cables up to the front. You're going to have one on each side, so it's going to illuminate this area. I'm going to put a sticky on it in a minute, and I've run the wire up, attached it to the clutch cable here because there's really no place to fasten it to the frame there. And now I'm going to plug it in to the unit here. And look guys, if you're going to sell a kit with 12 emitters, you should sell a kit that also has 12 of those rubber little end caps, because you have to terminate each one of these. And as far as I can tell, there was only like 5 at the most. You can see I wrapped it with tape, and then I just put a tie wrap around it just to cinch it in place so it doesn't fall off later. All right, so I lost my helper for a minute, but now I'm gonna take this other one on the other side of the frame and I'm gonna mount it down here. You can see I've got the piece here and it's gonna go on the frame, but I really wanted to light up this part up under here. All right, so I'm gonna remove the horn cover here because I've actually got one hidden behind my horn cover also. Oh, look at that. Little Buffalo brand air compressor there for the air horn. That's some high technology stuff right there, brother. All right, so the other one's gonna go down behind here because it gives a nice reflection point. All right, so I'm just gonna mount this on the back of this plate so it reflects backwards in there. And as you can see, it lights up nicely in the back there. All right, so now we want to get the lights to the back and up underneath the bag. We've already done the other side, but I'm not going to show you that yet. It was hard to do. Barbara had to tilt the bike up because you're working on the lower side of the bike. This is the high side of the bike, so it makes it a little easier from that aspect. But basically what I need to do is from the battery compartment, get this wire down below here. Now the tricky part is on this side of the bike, you have the drive belt. So when you have the drive belt, you've got to make sure to keep this away from, and I want to light up the wheel, the inside of the wheel, more than just throw light down here, because then it'll just be dark and black under there. So I want to get the light up under this area. The only way to really do that is to mount it to the bottom of the swing arm, which you need to have a little room because the swing arm is obviously going to bounce up and down as you go over bumps and things like that. So when I get this wire up through into here, we're just going to have a little bit of extra room on it. But when you feed this wire down to the bottom, there's really no way for me to explain to you how exactly to get it down there. You're just going to have to try to fish it down yourself. You're on your own. All right, so I am upside down, but I just want you to see what we're doing here. So I don't know if you can see that, but that is the light strip, and it's on the bottom of the swing arm. It's going to reflect off of the side of the pipe and then down. Laying down here looking like a fool. Okay, so we secured the long LED strip to the bottom of the swing arm, and then now we're going to pull the...
Oh, Olaf!
Hello, how are you? Now we're going to pull the bag off. Actually, we don't need to pull it off all the way. We're just going to rest it out here. We got the wire that's come off, and we're just going to secure this one up here. So you want to leave a little bit loose here because there is going to be some movement. And stick it to the inside of the bag. I think this is the accessory power cable for inside the bag. So I'm just going to put this on here to cinch it up so it doesn't lay on the pipe. Okay?
Oh, that's smart thinking.
Oh yeah, when you've done this as many times as I have.
How many times have you done it?
Counting this time?
Yeah.
Twice. Goodbye! And then now you can see that we get, from the back, we get a really nice glow there. Cue the actor. All right. So I've just connected another one up here to the engine compartment light, and this one is going to be real simple, I believe. I'm just going to drop it down here into the space behind the Thunderstroke 111. Roar! And I'm just going to plug this dude in right here. And this is really nice. You just kind of like mold it into place back here. And it just kind of rests in here. You don't need to mount it or anything. I've never had any problems with mine. It just sits in there and throws a little light on the back of the heads. It's real nice. And then we're going to run one more down below the frame. So the last one we're going to mount underneath the frame, underneath the motor. And it's basically just going to go, I'm going to use these rails right here, and that'll give us a real nice glow underneath the bike. And that is really all there is to it. Just getting all those cables in place and secured is really simple. The hard part is getting the tank in position and back in place. The fuel lines just snap into place. These connectors for the dash panel are all pinned individually, so you don't have to worry about connecting the wrong one together. The hard part is getting these rubber bushings for the back of the tank in place, and the front of that trim piece is really difficult to get in up there. There's a rubber bushing on there that keeps wanting to fall out, but once you get that in place, you're fine. And if you just take a look at these bushings here, you can see how they're supposed to look. Now, sometimes it's a good idea to take a picture ahead of time, but you're really gonna have to shift the tank around a lot, and then just mount the on and off switch underneath the tank, and you are going to be good to go. I really like that position. You can put it anywhere you want, but that lead is kind of short, so for me that just seemed to be a convenient location for it. Anything you want to make sure of that. And then I'm just going to stick it way up underneath here. There's no need to have it out near the edge. And if you want to show the lights, just on and off. Boom, just like that. Now we're going to pop the seat back on. I'm sure you guys know how to do that. Put the luggage rack back on so you don't need to see that. So all in all, it took about 2.5 hours, I'd say, to do everything. Yeah, there's a little bit of frustration and some cussing from time to time, but overall, it's a pretty simple job. I do have to tell you that you are not going to be able to complete the job with the cabling that they include in the kit. You're going to need some extensions. We've gone ahead and ordered a kit from XKGlow that includes 4 12-inch extensions and 4 36 extensions and some other miscellaneous parts. I think it was like another $35 for that kit. But we just found that the wires were just too short in a couple areas, and so we've connected everything together here so you can take a look at it and see how good it looks. But we also ordered a few more emitters and we want to put underneath the tank. We're also thinking about putting a couple up underneath the fairing to kind of give it a little glow under there. I think that would be very cool also. But overall, we're really happy with the project. And on top of that, we were treated with a nice sunset this evening. Also had Barb break out the app on her phone so we could see how it's so easy to just control all the different colors. You can see also that we can control the brightness easily. And we didn't pull it up, but there's a bunch of presets also. So you can set patriotic colors for 4th of July, things like that. Hey, also it's important to note that in the state of Florida, we are able to use these lights. I understand that in other states it may not be legal, but in Florida we can use these lights, but you cannot have red lights visible from the front of the motorcycle according to statutes. I guess that's so people in a car looking behind them won't see red lights behind them. And you cannot have blue lights visible from the side or any other angle of the motorcycle. So no red, no blue, just keep them off. You don't want to get pulled over by the bubblegum machine, all right? So thanks for watching, guys. We really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed and you like the video that we put together, we've got a lot of other how-tos and riding videos and travel videos. It's just a fun channel. We really appreciate you watching. And we're also on Instagram and on Facebook at Ride with Two Indians. Thanks for checking us out. We will see you on the next one. We've got a ton of videos coming. And here I'm going to put a link right here for our video that shows you how to enter to win a Buffalo brand horn for your Thunderstroke Indian motorcycle. Thanks for watching. We will see you guys soon.